Hello folks, GWT. Top of the day to you. I want to say that any person needs to take interest in something first. The interest can lead to checking it out. But if you have no interest in what's ruining your health and ruining your life, then you are mentally controlled and you are a manufactured idiot. Your lack of interest lets all of the bad stuff and all the bad people continue to do as they do, and things will only get worse. It will only get worse and worse. And y'all are mentally controlled by all sorts of methods and means. I invite you to check out some of my previous and older videos. They break it down and explain what I'm talking about a lot of different things in layman's terms. Should be very easy for you to understand, folks. That's what I try to do. I want to send a shout out to Julian B. Belivia, or it's Beliveeau. He's got a channel on YouTube. He left a real nice comment for me, and I really appreciate it, Julian. You're a sensitive guy, and sensitive people can recognize other sensitive people. And even though I've got an anger and you said that you don't, we're both sensitive people. We're caring people. And that's what this country here is lacking a lot of. Those who mature in life while learning through their senses are made unhappy by the evil spirits that they learn to recognize and come to know. And the sensitive one can be held back as far as having an open spirit or any advancement in spirit by another spirit being, because of the interference from another unlike spirit. So when like spirits get together, there's a tremendous amount of strength and uplift and support for each other. And that's what real friends do. They uplift and they support each other, and they don't let anybody talk bad about their friends. And some of us out here who think we have a bunch of friends, and I'm not in that list, but some people who think they have a bunch of friends, they really ain't got any real friends. Not any real can trust with your money, your wife, your children, your dog, your car, your house. Real friends. Anyway, this is mind control, folks. When you're content with yourself, and you're clear conscienced, and you're comfortable in your image reflected by a shiny surface, like a mirror, and you can fall asleep without hurting anything all that day, then don't let any other do your thinking for you, other than constructive suggestion or criticism, as the way of the considerate and the true Christian does each other, or a friendly person, and maybe some other being or transhuman, AI or robot too, maybe so. But a hard-headed Christian listens with their spirit to the true spirit of the other person, and not just what they see or hear, because eventually the one's true spirit always shows itself. Everyone, including Hollywood's richest, their best, hold on to the good spirit. Try to keep it protected if you have it. And Julian, you got one. Watch out for it, buddy, because there'll be people attacking you if they can. The American system of governing the people is completely against humanity, folks. And you and your family members are helping keep it that way. Military makes drug addict killers and destroys humanity's family unity. Lock, stock, and barrel. Let me ask you, when was your last conversation about NASA finding water on Mars? Have you ever had a conversation? Have you ever heard about it? Have you ever seen a video or anything about it? Ever hear anything on the news, on television, about NASA finding water on Mars, not just water, but a whole bunch of other BS. Can you imagine how an observer who knows that just knows about Mars stuff is a bunch of BS, and then viewing in movies or in real life or in a restaurant or sitting somewhere 2 or 10 people raising glasses to NASA, raising glasses and toasting NASA for finding water on Mars? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? It might be suicidal if someone who is in knowledge of the BS about NASA it might be suicidal to them to crash their ignorant bliss. But think about that. Can you imagine if you don't believe that BS, if you understand that it's all NASA lies and all BS, and then you overhear people toasting and celebrating them finding water on Mars, what would you think? You wouldn't want to say anything. Hollywood and the government media constantly brainwashes us all to accept the globe construct lie and pay big bucks for their BS. Folks, I want to say a word or two about the fugitives across America, about the illegal immigrants. We really need to address these people who walk out of the courts, who don't go back to court. These people who haven't committed any harm or any foul to anything, but they're collected up under the 70 million laws. You know, it's pretty hard not to break one of over 70 million laws. It's pretty difficult for anybody who goes out on the road, who leaves their front door. Well, it's difficult not to break some of them laws while you're living inside your house. Everyone could help the cops and the government get all of them gone. All of the illegals, the immigrants, all who's ever been in any trouble, and any who could be arrested for anything, anytime, any place, for singing out of key or singing too loud in church. There you go. That must be among that 70 million plus. Then only the squeaky clean people would be left. And that 70 plus million laws can't rob of capital or life because they're squeaky clean. Then the attention will turn to the antisocial and to the ugly and to the poorest. You know, society's unliked and undesirable. The independent, the Christian maybe, the outspoken, who can sense truth and lie. You got to get rid of them. Those who are the slowest to line up and kneel down or bend over, you got to get rid of them. They will work their way of the ethnic cleansing all the way through whatever is left of society. And you people who want to get rid of all of the independent and all of the people, the truthers, the researchers, the messengers, you want to get rid of them so you can fit in, your number is going to come up and you are not going to be able to avoid that happening. Everyone has to be good and obedient, non-complaining slaves and guinea pigs. I got something to say. I want to mention the word God with a capital G. To most men, a species or an energy source that can do things that a normal man cannot do, and if the species or energy source can cause men to fear, then it's a God. It's a God to the weaknesses of mind and body of man. It is those who complain and rebel against slavery and ill treatment and murder of innocent and harmless life that all of you cop-loving SOBs need to help get rid of one way or the other. Be a hero, just kill them. So then you can be heroes and win the favor of your peers, the ones who do your thinking for you. Then you can watch and wait because your number will come up at some point also. Yes, get rid of all the mad truthers who's fed up with being deliberately made sick for insurance, medical, and pharmaceutical industries, which are just at the top of the corporations list. The heart-destroying whole cities all through history, all through biblical history and our history, that our brains can, that we think we can perceive in our brains, all through history. And somewhere, some city or settlement of people, or a flock or a herd, or a bunch of fish or birds or honeybees or something, they're being taken care of right now. The chemtrails and the affliction of this radiation that has killed 90+% of the life of the Pacific Ocean in just 5 to 6 years, along with the North American fish. Where do you see this situation going to? You think it will be better tomorrow or better next year? But at any cost, let's get rid of the brave souls that learn these things to tell you about them. Anyone with an attitude and knowledge is a fugitive, loose in society. They are public enemies. They're enemies of your conscience, and that's for sure. There's a pretty decent fellow that calls me on the phone to check on me from time to time. His name is Joe. I was rude as a bitch to him last night and hung up and all kinds of stuff on him. But it just seems like every time I'm in a conversation with it sounds like another human being, the subject matter of individuality being ruled out and people all subjecting themselves under one united control system. I just don't think that's what humanity is supposed to be about, is a bunch of guinea pigs and test subjects. It don't compute to me, folks. That's why I complain. And that's why I try to find some facts. And then I calculate in my head what's coming down the pike. And that's what I bring to y'all. And if you don't believe me, you're going to end up being a sad sack. It's just like Lear said, he's a long time ago, a very profound statement coming from somebody who's noted for their honesty and integrity. And he said at the end, he said the Christians are going to be the most disappointed people. And that's what I've been telling y'all for a long time. I've lost a would-be friend on account of my doubt. But that would-be friend is going to, everyone, not just any individual, but everyone is going to come to their senses sooner or later. And y'all can rebel against the people who come to their senses earlier than you do. You can chastise them and gang up and conspire against them. Oh, let's see what else we can think of that's bad about this person. Let's add it all up together. Oh my goodness, public enemy number one. But it's okay for the chemtrails and the radiation and the HAARP machine to wipe out entire cities across the U.S. And they've been doing it for 200 years or longer. And folks, if y'all can't figure it out and find out the truth about it, I did a video on I mentioned all of the American cities, unlike every other country. America is the only country who has had entire cities, whole entire cities, burned and destroyed to the ground. That is the work of a tectonic weapon. And you people, who's public enemy number one? People like me. I don't get it.